A Peoria man will stay in jail until his trial after he's accused of shooting a woman in the back, leaving her paralyzed. His charges tonight include aggravated battery with a firearm. Thanks for joining us on your Friday. I'm Janice Rebholz. Sayla Estelle joining us in the studio with the latest on this case. Sayla.
Janice, this happened Wednesday in Peoria's East Bluff. According to court records, the shooting victim was shot after she stabbed another woman. 23-year-old Deandre Ward is being charged with aggravated battery with a firearm after he shot his ex-girlfriend in the back. In court at his detention hearing earlier, a video shows Ward and his current girlfriend arriving at the ex-girlfriend's house who had a knife. After an intense argument, the shooting victim stabbed the girlfriend, and once the fight ended, Ward is accused of shooting his ex-girlfriend in the back, ultimately leaving her paralyzed tonight. This is a Class X felony. The judge denied pretrial bail because he believes Ward is a threat to the victim. Ward could face up to 60 years of prison time. The next court date for Ward will be August 7th at 10:30 a.m.